Welcome to the Tris Brina Show. Today we're talking about 7 ways to unlock creativity. Now, you may think that creativity has something to do with being a painter, an artiste, creating plays, doing all these very creative things. But you know what? Every single one of us has a creative genius inside us. It just gets a little locked up. It gets a little dormant. It's inside the brain. And we want to share with you our favorite ways to unlock this incredible creativity. So that's what we're diving into today.
And I think that the creativity since birth was there and vibrant and alive and playful and growing. But then life happened. Maybe we heard things, we misunderstood things, we were put in a box without people meaning to. And we sort of blocked our creativity, that little genius, that little genie, that is our natural state.
The genie within.
The genie of the genius. So when we're talking about creativity, to me, it isn't adding something onto, it's just making a space for it to come out.
That's what we're after. You know, I wrote this down. I wanted to share researchers out of university in New Zealand, Otago. They have found that people report being happier and more energized when they're engaged in everyday creative endeavors. And that being in a positive mood goes hand in hand with creative thinking. So how, as a kid in school, I saw creativity as something, I thought of creativity was something I didn't have. I didn't consider myself a creative person. I was more logical thinking type person. And I saw folks in, like arts, right? Like you, for example, I would say, oh, you're an incredibly creative person. And you are, but you came from this world of theater and plays and such. So that's a misnomer though, right?
But see, we all have those thoughts on ourselves because I could say, well, I'm not creative. I'm just saying the lines someone else wrote.
Okay.
I'm just acting the character that someone else created. So we can always pass the buck and not really accept our amazing genius like that.
I felt that I unlocked it over time, starting with martial arts, because I was learning these creative movements. Right. So I had labeled that, oh, that's more creative. Or when I started playing the guitar. But what we've come to find is that some of these things, certain movements and certain activities actually unlock this feeling of being tapped into this creative genius we're talking about. So let's jump into these 7 that we have lined up for everybody.
Okay.
Number 1 is...
I'm going to say number 1.
Okay, you take it.
So number 1 is to play more. Now, when we chose play more, that could seem like be silly, be trite, be shallow, and that's really not it.
Right.
For me, playing is expanding my limitations, allowing the ridiculous to be a possibility. So when let's say I was coaching someone on a competitive dance routine or coaching someone on a theatrical role, I would always take it to the extreme, to the ridiculousness of whatever it was, so huge, so big that it was almost a farce. And from that freedom, we would find colors and flavors and pull it back. Or remember this other exercise that we used to do is, let's say you have to give a presentation and you feel stuck and you don't know how to be colorful. Sometimes we would just say, okay, you are a puppy. And you are delivering this intro and you're a puppy. And what that allowed you to be is more energetic, more playful, more forgiving, more cute than you would normally be. So it's being playful because in that playfulness, colors will bubble up and these exaggerations will bubble up that are roads to possibilities that you would never get to if you didn't give yourself that freedom. And play takes all the stress off. Because when you say it's play, it's not like, we have a deadline to get this design. Play is just, let's see what happens. What if we put a circle here? What if we made this red? What if we did this? What if we did that move there? It doesn't have to have a rhyme or reason. It isn't logical. It's just, let's see what happened. And I always use the example of charades or Pictionary. When you're playing Pictionary, if you've ever done that and you're drawing on a board to get your teammates to guess what it is, the crazier and zanier, more playful it is, the more likely they are to get it. And I loved those games.
Well, you're an incredibly playful person. I have noticed, and in case you're just dialing in right now,
They're dialing in?
Yeah, people are on that old dial-up modems, tuning in, dialing in, listening in, whatever it is.
Scrolling
This
in.
is the playful person that I live with, who is very creative. Why be creative, right? Like, we definitely defined it in the beginning that you might not see yourself as a creative person, or maybe you do. But what we're finding, and like that research study that I shared in a moment ago, is people have more energy, but they also feel their mood is improved. So I think at the end of the day, we all want to be happier and we want to be healthier.
Yeah.
And so we brought this conversation today, and these 7 that we realize really help us to be more creative, is because it's more fun. Life is more fun when you're playful, when you're creative, when you're allowing that inner genius to come out. So not only will it help you in your business and your workplace, it'll help you with your health and your mood, right?
And we always say that the love source, God, is now continuing to create itself. And how? Through our hands, through our eyes, as us, as this co-creation. So we are creators. That's what we do from birth. We birth new ideas. We birth new ways of doing things. Look at what life was like in the 30s compared to the 70s, compared to now. All the things that have been created. How did that happen? Someone had to lift the barriers and allowed that, to me, that love force, that life force, that genius, that creative juice that wants to constantly expand, continue to expand. So I think that's sort of like the point of being here is the whole creative process. And in that creative process, we more and more discover, who am I?
So Sabrina has dove into number 1, which is to play more. I had to evolve into being more playful. Sabrina's helped me to lighten up and be a lot more playful in my life. And I used to take classes with Sabrina years ago that were like acting classes that enabled you to, the exercises allowed you to play. You had to get out of yourself, out of your own way, improv, right? And try different stuff. And I was definitely shut down and scared to do some of those things.
Not anymore.
No, now we play all the time and we improv all the time because I've unlocked that ability. But before, I would be afraid of, I'm not playful, or I'd label myself as.
Or you're not going to do it right.
It won't be funny. Maybe people think of playful as funny. But have you noticed how you're more playful with your puppy or your kiddos or with a particular friend? And what happens?
Or when you had a glass of wine.
When you've had a drinky poo. You're more fun, you're more playful, you're more silly. And what is that though? That's your life force flowing through you more.
Yeah.
You're not so tight, you're opening up.
How many people have said, I created my business on a napkin at dinner with my best friend? I just have heard that story so many times.
Because we're out of the way.
These like, oh, where'd you get that idea? Well, I was taking a walk. Or, no one says, well, I was like racking my brain, seeking an answer. That's never where the genius ideas come from.
So allow ourselves to loosen up. Yeah. We're calling it play. And I think when you look at kids who are playing, they're laughing, they're giggling, they're having fun. And kids are so creative. They're like, mommy, look what I made. And you're like, that's pretty cool, right? It's because they're tapping into that genius. Yeah. So number 1, let's all give it a go. Let's be more playful.
Give it a go.
Give it a go.
Number 2.
I love this one. This one works for me. It's so helpful in my life. Listen to music. It does something to your brain. It unlocks that creative juice. And so music that makes you feel good, music that makes you put a little pep in your step, music that makes you want to kind of, rock the air guitar or dance or something, music that makes you kind of sway or just makes you feel groovy. Yeah. Groovy 6-7, man.
Also, music unlocks emotions.
Yes.
You can listen to a piece of music and just feel all of a sudden really sassy. Or you can listen to a piece of music and be just brought to tears.
That's right.
with tenderness or with sorrow. Or some music is
excited.
It's very scary. So I think music is such a fast way into your emotions, and emotion is energy, and emotion gives you ideas. So when you hear that song that makes you feel sassy, you're going to have some sassy ideas. because you kind of become that character that would have that kind of thought.
So we're talking about tools, techniques, things that we use to unlock this energy, this creativity. So music, you know, what's interesting is some of us, music's a go-to. Like you play music. But did you know some people don't? Some people don't listen to music. They might be driving their car and they'll choose that radio talk show. That's fine. But how often do they turn on music? Now she dances every morning, which is another component, but there's music.
Yeah.
I put on headphones and I listen to music and lyrical and the emotion that you talked about. I try to allow myself to feel. I don't listen just to music that's got a beat, although I love that. I listen to lyrical that makes me feel that, and it unlocks that creativity more.
And whenever, like, he likes to listen to music in the bathroom in the morning.
Oh, I do.
While he's showering. And then if I come in the bathroom, I don't even know it. And he's like, you like listening to music? Because without knowing, I'm playing.
And then she starts singing the songs. You put that song in my head. So music. You want to take the next one?
Yes, the next one. This is so important.
We're on number 3 now.
Yeah, number 3. So it was play, music, and now sleep.
Yeah.
Rest. Turn it off. Right? So what do you do when your computer is stuck? You turn it off and you turn it back on, right? It's the magic. When the toaster's not working, what do? You unplug it and you wait 30 seconds and you plug it back in.
You can do that with a toaster?
Oh, yeah.
I know you can do that with a computer.
No, everything.
Really? A toaster?
Blender.
Okay.
It's right, ladies? It's the secret. It's the secret to life. You unplug it and you wait 30 seconds and you plug it back in.
All right.
Hair dryer.
I'll buy that.
Press the red button.
Yes, that for sure.
But sleep allows everything to shut down. So maybe sometimes we're efforting so hard, and we're on these dry desert paths looking for creative juices, and there's none there.
That's the worst.
There's none there, and you know what?
Forcing.
You're going to try to force it. There's no juicy water ideas. There's no creativity in that desert.
No fun.
Go to sleep. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
And as you go to sleep, you can say, let me wake up with more clear ideas or with more clarity. And sometimes you'll even have a dream or you'll have an insight, but it's just like it's rebooting. It's rebooting and being fresh.
The dream is
kind of returning to innocence.
That dream state, you get creative ideas in that state, or early in the morning when you're first waking up. So many people have said they've solved problems in their life, or scientists, innovators have had discoveries, creative insight during slumber. Yep. So that's a huge one. Okay, the next one is movement or exercise. Obviously, our go-tos are going to be like dance fitness, martial art fitness, qigong, tai chi, yoga.
Weights, bands.
Yeah, walking,
exerting.
hiking.
Again, it's energy. It's like getting rid of the blocks. Exerting some energy you make room for new and for fresh.
Because the negative shutdown is happening from disruptions in the energy system, the energy field getting stagnant.
And when you do that, you have the endorphins and the dopamines and your brain becomes so different and so fresh and so delighted and so happy. And you want your creativity, like even a country song.
What do you mean even?
Well, even a country song like, my husband left me for another woman and my dog died and I burnt the hot dogs tonight, right? It's like even that comes from this joyful place of loving music. It's hard to create from true like depression or sadness because you don't have the energy for
You're
it
on
to
empty.
come through.
The gas tank is empty. I see Linda's here and she said, wow, just checking in with you. Haven't seen you in a while. What a hoot. She's creating a course right now on energy and creativity.
Oh my goodness.
We'll talk about alignment.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So exercise, some of the things that are great about exercise is it comes with music, right? And it comes with playfulness. And so you're getting a fusion.
Should.
And if you're getting rhythms that are syncopated.
It's going to help you sleep better.
That's true. Things that are helping to challenge your brain which is exercise with music, is so good for creativity. I mean, you really are accessing layers and layers of opening yourself up to more and more coming through the brain. So wonderful on the exercise. Okay, next one, number 4. God mode. Meditate. Get out of the way. We talked about rest and rebooting. This is the ultimate reboot. Calm those brain waves down. Get out of busy beta. Get into alpha. Get into theta. Go deep, 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 deep. And allow that inner creator, the essence of creation itself, to show you, to birth through you. For us, our whole company came out of our journey as meditators, tapping into source, listening, so much of the art of listening, and then being guided. The most creative process, God mode, possible is when you are aligned. That's where we get all of our great ideas.
Because if it isn't from like exercise, you're clearing blocks, but in meditation, you're going quiet. And where are you going quiet from? Everything you think you already know, all the thoughts you've already thought before, all the ways it isn't working, all the things you've already done. You know, if you're not in this like meditative state, we're usually regurgitating the known. So in meditation, it's like an inhale and a holding, like a and in that holding, sometimes something new will spark. Maybe not even in that moment, but you made a space for it to be seen. And to me, that's really that co-creation.
It's like a bandwidth too. If you're trying to download on your computer something and you have poor bandwidth, you're not going to get that full download. Well, creativity would really appreciate a bandwidth that's open, right? Our friend Joe Vitale said, you're like a portal and the divine is looking to just send this information down. It's dropping it. And if you're open, if your door, your window is open, your bandwidth is open, you can receive that. And so creativity sometimes just feels like a gift from the divine. I don't even know where this came from. Like there's so many classes, and you have this too, where we get out of the way and we teach, and then we're like, where'd that come from? I think I got to go watch that and listen to that, because that pure creative intelligence.
And from years of teaching, there is a trust in that co-creative component. That
co-creative.
In that moment, exactly what I need to say, that will be my natural thought. There's just a complete trust in that. And I think that takes a minute.
You're becoming one with the creative intelligence itself. It's working through you.
Okay, so we have play, listen to music, sleep, exercise, meditate. And number 5 is time in nature. Every single morning, we take a walk outside.
Every morning.
Every morning.
Rain or shine.
For at least the past year. It's sort of a new thing. Not that we were never in nature before, but this morning time together. It might not be a long time. It's probably 10 minutes to 30, the most. But the sky and the air.
You're seeing creation in front of your eyes.
And the birds.
Playing. They play a lot.
Yeah.
And they whistle. They sing. They have a music of their own. They're meditating.
The flowers we would never see.
The opening.
You just see things.
You see God's creative expression, especially in the morning, because you're fresh. Your head's not full of a bunch of to-dos. There's less people out. There's less thought smog going on because people are still in slumber usually. And also nature is feeding you. When you're present, because you meditated, you are seeing, and your bandwidth is open, you're seeing things that you normally wouldn't see. And that's sparking that inner part of you to be like in wonderment, to notice.
You see things when you walk that you wouldn't see in a car.
Right.
You notice things. And even though, like, if you're walking out your front door, you're going to the left or the right. And so the paths vary, but not extremely. And yet every day the sky is really so different. And there's all, or the way that the breeze is blowing. There's yesterday.
It opens you
you
up.
took a picture of me yesterday where I was just
you're up on the
looking
fence,
at the clouds the whole sky was so fluffy and with the sun coming through. And he took a picture of me looking at it, and I actually look wet.
Yes.
And the wetness is actually the sunlight
Yeah.
shining through in these like gleams,
I'll go with
gleams
that.
of light.
Gleams. We'll take it. Beams of gleams. But really, when you are in those settings and you're in nature, it impregnates you with newness, with freshness, with pure creativity. It really does help unlock you. And there's so much more could be said about nature and the quietude and the sounds and the water flow and the birds, like you said, and just everything. It affects you at such a deep level. It opens you up.
Yeah. Oh, and you know those giant birds that we see all the time?
The big cranes, the herons?
Well, not those, but the ones that were like, is that a hawk?
Yeah.
They're probably falcons because the neighborhood's called Falcon Crest next to
Falcon
us.
Head.
And Falcon Head.
There you go. Just learned something. Okay.
I learned that yesterday.
Number 6. This one's really good for those of us who like structure and ritual, and we get a little too rote. So it is, try something different. Try something new. Explore. Change it up. Mix it up. See, the brain loves new. The brain loves novel. The brain loves something that's moving, that's trending, that's different.
And it might think it doesn't.
Unique.
No, I want to go to the same grocery store I always go to. No, I want to go to the same gas station I always go to. And sometimes that's fear of the unknown. So intentionally sometimes drive. I remember Dr. Oz said this years ago. He was saying, because I laughed, he was like, put your silverware where your dish towels are, and your dish towels, like change up your kitchen cabinets. I'm not saying that because I'd go crazy, but take a different route. Sometimes take a different route, take a different side street, do something a little different. And because of being open to that and just like, why not? That's what I did when about pretty much 1 year ago from today, we had an estate sale, a yard sale, a garage sale, whatever you want to call it, at my mom's house. And I went a different route to her house than I ever went. And I put one sign there. And the people that ended up buying her house saw that sign.
Yeah.
That I never would have had.
Creativity to access more of the things you want to attract. Have you noticed that everything we've been saying is related to helping you to have a healthy, open brain? Meditate, great for stilling the mind, getting more clear. Exercise, movement stimulates the brain. You're engaging the brain while you're moving. Getting some more sleep, resting the brain, the mind, listening to music, stimulating the brain, right? Of course, the whole body, mind, spirit is one, but we're talking about things that are directly going to help you get into a different state, because creativity often feels like it's something coming through here. Now, there's definitely inner creativity too, which happens through deep meditation, spending time in nature, and one that you might really love. And we just mentioned trying something new, that again for the brain. This is number 7. Drum roll.
Final answer.
You could say free think, daydream. Just allow that thinking aspect, the process of thinking, to freestyle. Allow thoughts to come through. Sometimes journaling helps, writing, but just allow the process of thinking. Don't be so structured that you don't allow this to daydream, to imagine, to visualize, right?
Yeah. And then when the limiting thoughts come in, well, what if I lived there instead? Well, what if I did have the funds too? Well, what if I was younger? Whatever all those limiting doors that we've closed on our creativity. Well, what if this? What would that be like?
What if? That's
and
a
then
good way
and then
to play.
imagine. Well, what if my knee wasn't like that? What kind of choices would I make? Well, what if there was a way to heal that?
A new idea, a new creative approach. See, so many things that have happened in our lives, in our business, have been things that have never existed before. They're new. And so it feels so good to be a creator.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the same old, same old. There's a place for ritual. Don't get us wrong. There's a place for good habit that keeps you consistent. But it also is a beautiful balance, the yin and the yang, of allowing the new, allowing the spontaneity, allowing for serendipitous moments, allowing for the unexpected, the mystical, the mystery, the, oh my gosh, look what came through me. How many things, like the names of products and programs, like Sabrina came up with one years ago called Affirmavision. So creative, taking affirmations and visualizations and marrying it into a word. Wow, that's so cool. Like, where did that come from? Just being present, being in the moment, being like she always is, super playful.
And it's not
this is an Affirmavision. Everyone, yes, that's the one.
but it's not always the first one.
Yeah.
So the past few days, we've been intentionally creating a new program, a new offer, because we see there's a need that a lot of our students have. Particularly people who have been certified in Qigong, and we really want them to like launch and start teaching and have success and have an easy way to do it that isn't a lot of tech and can totally be done as a solopreneur without a bunch of startup money. So we have all these things that we're trying to put together. And for 3 days, we have tons of paper.
3 days.
And it's like version 1. Oh, let's move that over there. So creativity isn't just like I'm creative now and oh, that was the genius idea. Yeah, it keeps evolving and it keeps changing.
It's fun.
And that's part of the process, and you're okay because then after you sleep, you go back and look at it. How can I make this even better?
Yeah.
How can I help people even more? Okay, let me sit and think about, I am the client going through this. Is there anything that's missing? Do I feel completely comfortable starting my classes now? Is there, oh, I still feel like I don't know this. Okay, where can we go back and add that? And we've had a lot of fun creating.
Playing.
And then thinking, wait a minute. We always thought that piece of thing over there was going to go over there. And now we're putting it in here. And that's okay. Right? Because maybe that's the part you didn't know yet. In order to make that thing, you had to think it was to go in that hole, but now you see all along it fits better over there.
That's so creative. It's so much fun. So let's do a quick review. Play more, number 1. I'm looking at our list that we wrote. Number 2, music. Listen to more music. Enjoy music. Number 3, get some sleep.
I'm going to do that.
Go to bed. Number, the next one, I may have gotten these a little, we might have given you an extra. I think we gave you 8.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we gave you 8.
We're creative.
We're so creative.
We
gave
count
you 8.
1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. It's a creative counting, honey. It's okay.
It's creative counting. Okay. Exercise, we get it. We'll put meditate in there. That's 3. 4 was meditate, but it's really actually 5.
Yeah, Joe's writing them down. She's like, there's 8.
There's 8. Spend more time in nature. Meditate in nature. There you go.
Okay, no more free thinking.
Yes, stop free thinking, and then we're back to 7. Try something new, and yes, free thinking. So there you go. You got a bonus one. Of course, there's others, and we'd love for you to share in the chat because you've all been so awesome and patient and writing your notes. But, there's many other ways that we can all be creative and tap into it. But these are the ones that are very, very prominent in our life. Cool? Yeah, it's a bonus tip. So we hope this has given you a little inspiration. We do believe and experience.
I'm laughing at Joe, laughing at me. Dried old raisins.
That when you're more creative, you're definitely happier. You laugh more. You feel better. You have really cool ideas. You're
less judgy on yourself and others.
Yeah, for sure. And you're tapping into your divine nature because that's what creativity is. It's just love force pouring through you. Mm-hmm. And there you have it. And
I think being kind to yourself, this is so on topic that it could seem off topic because it's so inside the topic.
What?
Being kind to yourself. I was thinking the other night, because you guys that tune into the show know a lot happens for me at night. And I was thinking if I don't think I'm awesome, then how could I think anyone else could think that? And if I don't respect my ideas, how could I expect anyone else to? And if I don't have a lot of compassion with myself, then how could I think that anyone else could? and to step up and be my friend. That's why I was talking to you about Rumi this morning. Like you've really got to be your own sweet friend, that friend that's like, hey, babe, I love you. It's okay. I got you. I'm here. You're awesome. You're amazing. It's okay. And I think that when you don't feel that kind of love and goodness, it's really hard to be creative. It's really hard to be playful when you're beating yourself up, when you're looking at what's not right. So let's say that you have anxiety and you're creating a program to help people with their anxiety. You don't want to create that from anxiety. You still want to create that program that solves the problem from a genius of being a co-creator. So it's not just you, the person that suffered from anxiety, but it's all the insights and the love of God coming through so that my friend Kim Walsh Phillips, we were laughing the other night saying, people say your mess becomes your message. And she says, well, what if your mess can be someone else's miracle? And I'm like, well, that's so beautiful. So I just want to say, inside of all of that is like, be easy on yourself, be sweet to yourself, be kind, and make the space and invite that childlike creativity to be there. Don't beat yourself up. Don't judge your ideas, right? If you have this great idea that's like so creative, and then there's a part going, that's stupid, it's going to be hard to be creative next time. Instead, just make it like, well, that's kind of out there, Sabrina. Let's pull that one back in. You change the way that you talk to yourself.
And especially stop saying, I'm not creative.
Yeah.
Then how are you going to allow that if you believe as an identity that you're not?
Yeah. And be that supportive friend to yourself that you would love to have on the outside. And then they'll start showing up on the outside. But I've just really seen that for myself lately. The more I can be that supportive friend.
I really love that you said co-creative, because isn't that what it is? It's us getting out of the way and allowing creativity itself to pour through. And you can put a stamp on it and say, I did that, and that feels good. And that's good for your self-esteem, and that's good for your sense of self-worth. But you're not doing it alone. Like, where do all these wonderful ideas come from? Are you going to claim that as your own? Like, I sometimes think, like, I couldn't do this on my own. I could never have, like, where did that thought even come from? That level of creativity has always been me marrying myself with this source of all that is, and being in gratitude for even having a brain that can express and experience and receive. It is co-creation. It's completely. And so if you're made from that which has made the universe and is spinning this planet, you're pretty damn creative. The essence of you is so freaking creative. This is all about getting out of the way and allowing that inner genius to come forth.
And if you don't create from the heart, from that sweet place, from the place that is overflowing with playfulness, that's jamming to the music, that has had enough sleep that it's refreshed, you'll create something and you probably won't like it. And it probably won't fulfill you. So whenever we have a desire from fear and then we get it, it's like, I thought that would feel better because the desire didn't come from that beautiful place.
I just wanted to share, this is a great insight Linda offered. So often what we may not call creativity and others think is really creative. I'm going to pop that back on.
Because they take it for granted? Yeah.
It's because we take it for granted because it's so natural and easy for you.
Yep.
Right?
I think usually we were talking earlier today about the way some people are in the kitchen, the way that some people cook, the way that some people communicate, the way that some people organize. I'm saying all the things like I don't do. The way some people, the way they organize everything is so creative, and they probably don't think about that at all.
It's just what they do. They've probably been doing it their whole life. There's some more beautiful things. There's lots. Diana shared, we attract people who treat us the way we treat ourselves. When Sabrina was talking about that, 100% vibration attracts vibration. And she went on to share I used to wonder how people could treat me in ways I would never treat anyone else until I realized they were mirroring how I treated myself.
Yeah.
Lots of reprogramming was needed. That is so true.
Yeah.
I mean, wisdom never been truer.
Yeah, and when I realized, it sounds like very similar to you, that I would judge someone thinking that they think something about me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they think I'm stupid. They think I'm an airhead. They think I'm shallow. Let's say I thought those things. The only reason I would think that anyone thought those things about me, because I think I thought those things about me. And I was looking for others to think that.
Ooh, key word, looking. Because we had something happen
looking.
not long ago with some folks we were working with, and there wasn't really any energy or feedback in this direction. And so there were thoughts like, maybe they don't like us, or maybe they don't think we're creative, right? Maybe this, maybe that, because we were looking through it. And it may be true, but then we found out that no, they really thought that you were this.
Yeah, it was somebody that in the
business world.
In the business world, the particular niche they're in, they're like at the top of the mountain. And we had some engagements with them, and I felt like I would be there with a bunch of people, and it was like, oh, I see you and you and you, skip me. No. And then the person one time made a comment like, you don't have to be 110 pounds and look like Barbie to be successul. And I thought,
I am 110
but
and
what
I
if,
like Barbie.
But what if you are? Okay, so that's not fair, right? But then we got this phone call like, oh my gosh, they think that you guys are great and you're this and you're that, and like massive kudos from this person. And all that stuff that I thought that they thought about me was just me and my own insecurities.
Wow.
So and maybe we just learned this lesson over and over and over again. But the key is, what if I think that? How much do I care? How much sleep do I lose over it? Or even if you think that, this is kind of deep. So what if I still have those feelings that make me feel like other people feel those things about me? Can I just be okay with, their loss and move on? Even though I'm the one projecting it, can I let it go at that point? Because you can let it go. Do you understand what I'm saying? At so many different places.
That's such a huge lesson for all of us. I'll close with one quick story, and then I know we're probably all ready to go and have dinner or what have you. I was walking. This is
so many great
years
comments.
ago. My karate teacher really helped me with this, and I saw some people that I knew, and I said hi, and they just ignored me and kept walking, and I felt really hurt.
This is where?
This is in Malibu, California, way back, right? And I remember telling it I had two karate teachers back then. I said to Mr. Gold, sir, this thing happened. And now this is going to sound super basic, but to a young 16-year-old, this was like mind-boggling, mind-altering. He said, oh, so they just looked at you and walked by? He goes, well, that's their loss. What? Like,